They do it all for the image. Dead broke, but they live rich. I give them an inch, they take a yard, so I stop giving them leverage. I'm here to avenge my song in 2020. Let them all get the vision. So just marvel at the best. And if you ain't get the message, long I stop playing. Y'all had enough, and this is the end game. Like TJ said, I in me own lane. Wait, y'all ain't got no shame. And as long as you owe me, wait, y'all let me prepare my respect. I resurrect y'all living in debt by Nike for them, man, put them in check. Roll up in vans and throw them in that. Wait!
There goes that man. Good night, everyone. Welcome to episode 9 of Common Sense, powered by Lucozade. And tonight we are talking about LeBron, billionaire James. And with me tonight is Guyana's favorite rapper, the one and only Kareem CKush Lewis, the Moko boss. And we are going to be analyzing LeBron's life, but we're also going to be having some real conversations about how we, about you, and about how I can level up financially and business-wise. But before we get into that, I need to make 2 major announcements. One, on July 24, 2022, at the Georgetown Club, Pan Jam 2022 is going to be live. Now, steel pan is a big thing in Guyana, and there are many steel pan shows, but there is no other steel pan show like Pan Jazz and now Pan Jam. And I can guarantee you guys that Pan Jam will be one of the most memorable experiences that you'll ever have in your life. When it comes to attending a concert, it's going to be team reggae versus team soca. And it's going to be totally amazing. We're gonna have Guyanese performers there. Stay tuned to Pan Jazz concerts on Facebook, or you can follow Rion Miller on Facebook and IG for more updates on Pan Jam 2022. But I want to encourage you guys to go get your tickets and ensure that you are there to enjoy some beautiful steel pan music. And I also want to officially announce the first ever physical live recording, live show of Common Sense. It's called the Common Sense Colloquium and Business Mixer, coming up on July 10, 2022 at Juke Lodge. Tickets are going to be available from next week, Thursday. And I want to encourage you guys to go get your tickets. It's going to be a beautiful event. We have 4 dynamic speakers, Mr. Richard Rambaran, Miss Cassandra Jaikaran, Mr. Will Campbell, and Miss Linda Danzy Black. And they're going to be speaking on seeing and seizing investment opportunities, thinking your way to wealth, small businesses collaborate or die, and thriving as a female entrepreneur. You cannot afford to miss this event. It's going to be really beautiful. We're going to set up a nice, beautiful decor. You know, you're going to look like you're watching Oprah or Ellen DeGeneres or whatever you pronounce her name. But just ensure that you are there at the Common Sense Colloquium 2022, July 10 at Juke Lodge. But tonight, it's all about LeBron. It's all about learning how we can pull some skills, pull some pointers from his life and apply it to our life so that we all can be successful.
I've heard you say many times, I just don't want to be broke again. And that feeling comes from, I tell people all the time, LeBron grew up in the projects that was at the bottom of the hill. Is like if someone's from Akron and asks you where you're from, you say the bottom.
The bottom.
Growing up as a kid, did you know that, or were you just having fun being a kid?
Nah, you didn't know that. I didn't know that because I was having so much fun being in the bottom. I didn't want to go to the top as a kid. I was afraid of the top. You know, that's what made me who I am today. It kind of just gave me that structure. But like you said, yeah, the bottom is, you know, is where I grew up in. Like you said,
it's literally and figuratively.
Right, it's literally and figuratively the bottom.
After LeBron won his first or second championship ring, and as he was on the court celebrating his victory, he made a very powerful statement. He looked straight into the camera and he said, "I'm just a kid from Akron. I'm not even supposed to be here." Right? And when he said here, he wasn't only referring to the basketball court. He was referring to being in rooms with multi-billionaires, Warren Buffett, private equity investors, owners of basketball and other sports teams, and rich people, right? And it's not normal for a kid from Akron. And for those who may not know much about Akron, Akron is one of the poorest cities in Cleveland. And not only was he from Akron, he was from a place called The Bottom. Figuratively, The Bottom, and literally the name was The Bottom, right? But the statement, "I'm just a kid from Akron, I'm not even supposed to be here," that statement can resonate with many persons who would have grown up in tough conditions. As a youth growing up on the streets of Durban, which I'm from as well, and it's great to see two young men from Durban doing great in their respective fields. But as a kid from Durban, how is it like now, knowing that you're growing professionally, you're growing financially, you're growing generally in life? What is that transition been like? And do you feel as though, or have you ever felt as though where you are right now, you should not be?
To be honest, years ago, I probably felt like that. That was on one of the birthdays I had. It was an emotional one for me, yes, because you know, the route what a lot of my friends took was crazy, yes, man. And at most times they would try to reach out to me to say to, you know, hey, yo, let me go and do this and let me go and do that. And you know, I was always, you know, the strong-headed one who said to, you know what, I try to do something different, but by excite me and not fall into the line of, you know, peer pressure to some extent. And also at the same time, not into the space of doing certain agitations. So definitely, when certain things are happening now, I was like, you know, I want different. I don't like this stigma, so I don't like what's going on, and then everybody labeling me in a certain sense. So I definitely, years ago I would say that I didn't see something like this is coming, but like after I had the change of mind and the change of heart, definitely I would be able to say that, yeah.
Do you feel
something like this?
Do you feel any extra motivation?
Yeah, definitely. Where even when I did about in my area, I feel some type of way because I want to see everybody, you know, in a certain space. I don't want to be, you know, like the only individual up in a certain space, and then, you know, how many people them they're not in a space where they could, you know, not only provide but also it's not about surviving, it's actually about living, excitement. So it's getting in a space everybody grooving and getting not comfortable, because with getting comfortable you get complacent.
That's
so
right.
It's actually getting on your foot, excitement. So yeah, I'm motivated by the individuals who are around me and wanting to see them do better for themselves in different spaces, especially. I really get time with the big people, you understand me? Yeah, the youth man, them, all the youths, them, you know me, for jumping a certain space.
Now, you brought up a very important point, because one thing about LeBron, you always see him with three guys. Rich Paul, Marvin Carter, and a guy by the name of Randy Mims. Now, when you get in that space, that professional space, agents come after you, they want to represent you, they want to do business deals with you. LeBron is arguably the only person that I know, and you could probably say Drake, who shunned agents and used his high school friends, his childhood friends, and some friends, well, particularly Rich Paul. He met Rich Paul later on in life, but Maverick and Randy were with him through his youth. And he gave his entire business operations into their hands, trusting that they can lead him to where he is right now. How important it is for a young man, a young woman who wants to elevate in life, financially and otherwise, to ensure that they surround themselves with good
Friends
people.
like that.
Yeah.
So to be honest with you, with the friend aspect, I won't be able to say to if you would be able to have a friend like that. You understand? Because there's like putting your eggs in one basket, saying that hey, well, this guy do it like this with his friends, so I gotta do it with my friends. So it's not actually about your friends, because who you start with, you're not gonna end with. You feel me? And you gotta remember that you gotta see where their interest lies. If they're really and truly about you and about the benefits that you're going to get and that they're going to, will be able to, gain or reap from such, that, they can live equally in a certain space. So it's not even about living equally, it's about the equity, excitement, because not all of we can be on the same level with regards to certain things and a certain space. So it's all about where their interest lies, and they know that you're the prize, and once you're good, they're good. It's like me say, it's not always friends, it's about the individual who is interested in your well-being. It's about your welfare, it's about your finances, it's about all of that. So definitely you need to have focused individuals with you, and not everybody or an individual that are gonna scramble for anything that comes. It's like, you don't know, go forward, and a hungry man can eat anything. You feel me? And it's not about just being hungry, but you have to be focused and know what you're putting into your body. So
I'm glad that you raised that, because LeBron's blueprint, in that he was successful with his friends, might not be the same for me and you.
Definitely.
Right? There are other basketball players who tried that blueprint, gave their mothers the entire business, and they flopped, because obviously a mother without a business background or financial background might not have the business acumen to make certain investment deals and so forth. So it's not necessarily about the friends.
Don't even understand basketball or the business behind such, you feel.
Definitely. So it's not only about the friends and the family, but surrounding yourself with people who will challenge you, because one thing that I've heard LeBron always say about his relationship with his friends, he doesn't necessarily always agree with some of the proposals they make. And they don't agree with some of the proposals he makes. Like, when he went back to Cleveland, his close friend Maverick was against it. He said, you already left Cleveland. They brought up your jersey. They cost you down. What are you going back there for? And LeBron made a statement: progress over pride. As we navigate this life and the financial world, that statement is going to affect your life in some way, whether positively or negatively.
I agree.
What are your thoughts on that statement?
Definitely. That's major. I honestly didn't hear though. But that's a big statement, you feel me? Because, some individuals won't want to work along with some individuals because, they have some form of pride. And they say that, this person, it's like this, and probably something they've heard or they've dealt with another individual. I would always tell people that your experience is not my experience.
Definitely.
I could make reference to this with regards to Drew. And I study it all the time. Before working with Drew, a lot of people were talking negatively about him. And I could have picked it up and run with what he was saying, and I could have put pride in front, like, the boy, thing. I actually met the guy, and then my relationship with him was totally different from, what they've experienced, you feel me? And some people always have the conversation with you to put things in a place whereby, I'm always right. And I have done no wrong to, for someone to deal with me in a certain manner. But stories always get two sides. So you gotta know, I know, but like, since I met the guy, the information shared between the two of us, you feel me, the chemistry that, me and the guy, we end up getting. And so it was progressive, because here I am today in a certain space doing certain things after working along with that guy, you feel me? And I could have put pride in front of that and probably wouldn't get no progress, you see?
Definitely.
Yeah.
And many times, even in business, in work, egos
collide.
Egos destroy a lot of massive, good-looking things. Egos come in the way and throw it off.
Everybody want to be the man.
Everybody want to be the face. Everybody want to be the man.
But you know what people don't realize? It's like, if you look at the body and how the body does function, the brain is also important. It's major. The brain is major. One of the most major organisms in the body. But how we gonna function without the heart? How the heart will function in incapacity without the brain? And act according to your role. And this is how we can succeed. This is how we can get life. This is how we can get longevity. You feel me?
And even continuing on this point with the ego and pride, don't go into certain business relationships because they're seeing competition instead of collaboration. They're seeing, I want pull you down instead of, hey, two, we could work along.
You're talking about music or what?
Not only music. I mean, this is very prevalent in the music industry. But I'm talking about life in general.
Yeah. Good analogy.
Collaboration over competition. What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely collaborate all the time. But at the same time, I know that, collaborating, and I have to, sustain or, restrain from doing, bring our A game to it or don't work together at all. You feel me? So it's all about understanding. Like I said before, your role that you play, excite me and know that, hey, this is my niche. This is why I'm good at. Manner, me, feel me? So definitely, I am competitive while I'm collaborating, regardless though.
Major points, and finally on this, even in the case of Maverick and LeBron, I was watching an interview with Maverick, and the interviewer asked him, why are you always in the background? He's doing great things on his own outside of LeBron, but he stays in the background. And he made a statement that, you know what, LeBron is the face of this entire business. He's a major part of why I am where I am. And he's already the guy in front of the media and everything. There's no need for me now to go and, try to pull away or, So knowing your role is very important. You got your superstar, you got your bench player.
Don't even say superstar because they can even affect things in a certain space. You know your role. You get small forward. According to your role, but at the end of the day, one man don't get a ring,
Definitely.
It's the whole team.
It's the whole team. And Shaq says something. Be a superstar in your role.
Yeah.
See, if you coming off the bench,
there's the word.
be the best bench player. On the bench and be a superstar in your role, and eventually in life you can see progress.
Thinking about these as I was preparing for this, that we dealt with this on like a high level all of a sudden. To me, it was like, holy shit, now we're in this room and this shit is real. It's not like I had very smart. He said to you, I know you're going to go see Nike and Adidas, but I'm going to offer you $10 million. And he wrote you a $10 million check. And I would have turned it down. I think in the room, I said, yo, let's take this check and get the hell out of here. But you turned it down. Was it, so why you did it?
Right, I remember, first of all, it was
the longest table, boardroom table.
I had no idea what he was doing at the other end of the table. I just seen him writing.
Yeah.
And anything wrong on that on that check. And when he slid it down there and he said, listen, if you take this right now, you just promised me you won't go talk to Nike or I was lost for words at the beginning. Shit, we flew in. I flew in from Akron, Ohio, from Spring Hill, from the projects. Our rent was like $17 a month.
Exactly.
And now I'm looking at a $10 million check
that you can leave with.
Yeah, and go to high school and go back to the classroom the next what's going on homeroom the next morning. So I'm like, holy shit. That's my first initial thing. And then I for some odd reason, I started thinking, like, still love him to this day. He's an unbelievable guy. But if he's willing to give me a $10 million check right now, what 30, up front, or to say that maybe the upfront money is not even the biggest thing, maybe let's start, and that comes from, my uncles as well, just, never put all your eggs in one basket, and give to pitch themselves. And, we always say, listen, we're gonna hear all three companies. We wanna hear all three companies, what they have to say, what's their plan, and
The guy there is one of the hardest working athletes. Probably the only person I know that worked hard is probably Kobe. Everybody knows about the Mamba mentality. But LeBron spends $1 million. The only NBA player I know that even spends, I don't know that anybody else spends even half of that. Right? He doesn't eat any and everything during the season because he's trying to fine-tune his body to be the best performer. LeBron is 38 now. The hours that he spends in the gym putting in the work is, to be honest, he's only made $400 million on the court. So his off-the-court success is even bigger than what he's achieved on the court. But at the end of the day, what he did on the court was the foundation. He wasn't a great basketball player.
Definitely.
But into his craft and the importance of putting in hard work. For young people.
Yeah.
How important to work hard and be dedicated to your craft?
I mean, for music, if we make a comparison between, LeBron craft, he would have already been benefiting from it from a young age. Understand that he loved what he was doing, but at the same time, you don't know if he was in the position that these young men here and young would have applied the same, if he would have applied the same pressure that he love for what you're doing and give you the drive, you understand? Because when you hear the money now come right away, and you gotta understand that the money now come right away, and your focus shouldn't even be on the money, it should be for prime example of that, because I know about going places and I was doing. I stayed dedicated to get paid, and when it was time, or when it is time for the money to come, it is going to come, and when it and get half of it was something not worth paying for. Doing music, I should have made it. I should have all these things are happening now. But really and truly, I didn't have no sense behind nothing that is going on. But I was just young and excited and think that I realized that I ain't even arrived. I ain't even reach half to this music thing. That dedicated as I supposed to be, and the because I realized from the small that I've been doing compared to at the indie in a major way within this society. However, knowing that, and definitely I don't want to restrict myself to here. So knowing that is definitely knowing that, you know, yo, you got probably get a million more people doing the same thing, probably more talented. So there's a challenge and the mindset that I jump out with every day. People just ask me why. My brother them just ask me, you know, how come, you know. I don't know. Music keeps evolving, you understand? We don't know where this music gonna go to. Evolving while music evolves, you understand me? And bring something or create something or bring something. Idea and the investment part. What was funny about the investment part for something recently, right? And I can remember somebody telling me, yo, I'm mad foolish for spending so much money on a bigger picture, you understand me? Yeah, I could have taken the money and shortcut myself, but really and truly, I didn't fool nobody, I didn't fool him. Something out there. So I said, oh, yo, let me put every music video, so best I put me all. I did it. I showed the individuals I after that because it was true to me. You understand? And I made sure that I invested what I gained back in. Definitely on the investment aspect, as you gain, invest in yourself, invest in your craft.
Just because you brought up that point, when he was 18, he had 3 Nike and Reebok. Back then, Reebok was, it wasn't better than Nike, right? Reebok offered LeBron $100 million. Give him a $10 million signing bonus. The $10 million signing bonus would have stipulated he can speak with Nike and Adidas. The manager for Reebok put that check on the table and gave it to LeBron. He was expecting him to say yes because he's done that before with other rappers, 50 Cent and other guys, who, soon as if LeBron said no. He even than what Reebok was offering. Now, of the streets would call him an idiot.
Yeah, definitely.
Said something. The first check is not important. It's the rest of checks that you can get for the rest of your life. Now, produce boots.
Within the capacity right? that it was in.
Nike, after the initial contract, 15. So he took less switch with Nike.
This is
later
funny.
on in life,
he
cashed in.
This is funny. Saying because other than companies approaching me when I was going to sign my brand ambassadorship deal, because I believe before I was approached by Gupta and what they were using to tell me that, you know, I should sign this here. So it didn't make any sense to me. You understand me? So what they were telling me is that, you know, other people are already doing it, so you should try. And I was like, nah. I'm farming diplomacy with saying no, you feel me? So I did say no in that sense. And then I got ambassador for Kabisa. And then now, these beverage lines that approach me back then and were trying to shorthand me, not so relevant. You understand me? And the main thing on the market right now that everybody's wanting and running behind right now is Kabisa, and something that is happening for LeBron is going to happen for me, and it's happening for me in this space, you know what I mean? Weird. I didn't even know though, for real.
Now, I think an important part we could make here for people watching, because many people, soon the money present to them, the grab, the grab. And you might make a bar from the first check, and then for the rest of your life. Sometimes you might make a bar off the first check and then end up in jail for the rest of your life. Happens after. How important it is for persons to not only make short-term decisions that may seem beneficial, but ensure that they think about the long term and what they're potentially setting themselves up.
When you're hungry, you're easily poisoned. When you eat everything, you're easily poisoned. So you gotta understand what dishes you like, and at the same time, don't have no form of favoritism, because, like, again, you could get poisoned. You understand? It's actually assessing the situation for what it is. Nobody that actually have interest in you is going to force anything down your throat.
Facts.
They will want you to analyze and take some time and think about what you're going to do, because it determines your future. And at the same time, when you're making the decision is not only on you. You have to think about the individuals that you're working with also and how it may affect them and benefit them. You feel me? So definitely, not everything somebody push in front of your face, you snatch up and run with. You don't know what you're settling for at the end of the day. There are competitors out there. There are individuals out there with bigger and higher interests for you that you don't, you know what I mean? So it's definitely be grateful, be thankful. Don't ever be disrespectful. Humility is always the way to go. You feel me? However, with regards to that, you definitely should assess the situation before making a decision. And it's always good to take advice at the same time. So, yeah, get some advice. Find out if the restaurant is sell good food before they give you it for free. What them is do to the customers when they come, they make you go in there or even want to accept free food. Why are you giving me free food? So those are some of the things that you gotta ask yourself. Assess the situation definitely from top to bottom, in all aspects and in all manners. What do I have to bring to the table? Does it make sense that you're offering me all of this for this? This has something behind it, making it like this right now. What are you restricting me from? So it's a whole different. You feel me?
Because even in that situation, you was already you stipulating you can't talk to these other companies.
Yeah.
Right? Because you already know what they might bring might be better than him.
Yeah.
She's giving him the upfront cash and hey, shut your mouth.
No, that's a blindfold right away. He didn't know what's coming after that, and at the same time, less money is better sometimes, because less money is foundation money. That's building money. That's generational wealth. You need the one half. They might just use you because you for this time, or what happened when your time up. But if you build with them and create something with them, forever grateful. You basically, what is it? You in the cement, you in the sand, you in the gravel, you in the whatever you want to call it with regards to their foundation. So you know what, you're embedded there. You would always benefit from that.
And I'm glad you mentioned that. Build something with them, because what LeBron has done, he hardly signs endorsement deals anymore. What he does now, he asks Beats. When Beats first came on the scene, LeBron was the first to get, think about 12 or 14. In the 2000, actual headphones. This is how he started off. He got 12. I'm going to market it for you, but I don't want cash. I want equity in the business. I think it was a 2 or 4% he got, right? And Beats were sold to Apple in 2013 or 2014, and he made $35 million. Right, but imagine now if he had signed money, right? I think that persons should start to think about getting into not only endorsement level
shares.
Give me 2%. Give me a 3%.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Definitely. There's major and there's big and it's can't even speak on it, but it's crazy that you bring that up. But definitely there's something that it's not but it's knowing what you bring to the table at the same time. Yeah, definitely. And then you will be able to negotiate with people in a certain sense, and you definitely need these conversations. You feel me? So for an individual who and you don't really expect this, and you don't expect certain conversations from me. So definitely when I bring up certain conversation, because I look for something in terms of longevity. I looking for, all right, tomorrow is not promised, but what if it is? They working on. You understand me? Yeah, definitely you probably could die tomorrow, but what if I do something? 10 million this month. Hoping doctor say you're gonna die. Or the whole 10 million. You feel me? So it's in the head of your nose. It's in this space of looking at it as we can see, like right. But parts that we can't see parts that are blocking it right now, but we know that there is more behind that. Just like how we know there's more beyond these borders. Somebody gonna probably $1 million deal. $1 million, $1 million Guyanese. Which is only 5,000 USD. For another artist, yo, that is crazy. I'm about to sign for 5,000 USD. Really and truly, in the international market, 5,000 USD is a joke. What you could do it though. Oh, course. Yes, and then what you could do with though internationally, you're gonna look at what you're doing in Guyana. And that's what they're looking at, hoping that that's the mindset that you have. You understand me? But the world is much more bigger than where you are. But you have to look at the international space in which what you present and what you're doing. Prophet was there for. LeBron James is internationally known. Although he's an NBA player, he's also a Team USA player at the same time. So he represents USA when he goes out there internationally, and he understands that at the same time. So anybody looking to invest in LeBron understand that LeBron is just not America. LeBron is global.
No.
It's international.
One thing that I find in Guyana, and I think that plagues us not only as artists, people in general, we restrict ourselves to Guyana.
Too small.
We don't think big because
too small.
When I started this show, I wanted to be at a certain quality before I start. People was like, no. I said, if I'm putting out something here, especially on the internet, because the internet is not just Guyana, it's a worldwide something. Everybody is watching
Facebook
this.
is the biggest social media platform with billions of people.
I got to put out something of quality. I can't put out something of Guyanese quality. Because Guyanese quality might not be international quality. It's two different things, right?
And look at the diaspora, not cutting. Look at the diaspora over there. How large is Guyana? The last census we had is probably 700 and something.
There are more people, more Guyanese outside of Guyana than in Guyana.
You understand what I'm trying to say? If you look at Guyana, if you all right, bet I'm a business. I'm interested in doing business with you. When it comes to your business here, I know the regions that are gonna probably spend money on my business is probably region 9, not region 9, don't let me go to region 9, say region 6, region 4, region 3. These are the regions that, you know, are fee with business and, you know, spending large amounts of sums and where the population really is with regards to consuming certain stuff. And that's not how much people probably, I can give them the most, how much?
Couple about 300,000, 400, the most.
Alright, let me give them, say for instance, they give them benefit of the doubt, let me give them 500,000. Within this space, the individuals are actually consuming, is going to spend money on a product or whatsoever. So when you prepare for here alone, they get islands out in the Caribbean with more people. You understand what I'm saying? So I gotta create, so the idea is actually create a product from here, wherever it is you're presenting for the international stage. However, I believe that at the end of the day, it must say Guyana, this is why I believe. This we're gonna make you, this we're gonna set the trademark, this we're gonna put a trademark there or the stamp there for saying to you know, hey, this here different. Like this here different.
You also spend a lot of time and have built a fantastic foundation that really, how do you look at the lessons that you can give on kids that are in the bottom?
The best thing I can give to my kids in my foundation, which is like we had like 1,150 kids right now, is that I was you. I was you. So to be able to know exactly what those kids are going through and the steps they're taking, because I actually walked those streets, I sat in those classrooms, I had those nights where I was like, why me? Why us? You know, there's no way we getting out of this situation. And to get to that point where I am today, it gives those kids a broader view. You know, it opens their mind 360 now, instead of just having, you know, the horses at the Kentucky Derby look, you know, where you just, that's all you see. With the blind, that's all you see. It gives them a whole wide range of imagination, of a thought process of LeBron James was me before everybody knew LeBron James. And if he can make it, and not even saying make it as a professional athlete, if he can make it from being a professional athlete to being a designer, to being a chef, to being the president of the United States, you know, as we've seen in Barack Obama, being able to break barriers, that's what I love more than anything, to be able to give those kids an outlook on what they really, really can become.
Now, as a youth growing up in a Durban street, in a Leopold Street, in a Albaiston, in a Sophia, Agricola, you feel as though your life is just constricted to this community.
Because you don't know no better.
How do they develop that big picture mentality?
How do you develop it?
How do you begin to open up your eyes and see, all right, life is bigger than Agricola, life is bigger than Guyana, life is bigger than the Caribbean?
What I would be able to say, the internet is good and the internet is bad. You understand me? At the same time, when you could searching for certain music and meditation, you could search for books and things to better yourself with regards to self-development. You know, think outside of what you're doing in the meditation. You know, I know it's hard. You know, a lot of people are closed-minded, and your environment definitely got a big role to play with regards to that. But you need to have a mind of your own with regards to what you're talking about, to actually get a big picture mentality. And I like that. You understand me? I'm going to use that, just take it from you. It's like me, the big picture mentality. Forget it, you definitely have to get your own mind. You can't think about what everybody else saying and what everybody else doing. You gotta get your own mind and see the world for what it is. And you gotta see the world. You just don't see the space that you're in, because you're gonna be restricted to that. And that is all that there is going to be. There is no more than that. And it's sad for now that I would forward and see more to it and use you and get more out to you than you're getting out to you. You understand me? So understand, you know, what you have, and you get to got the most gems.
That's
you
right.
get to got the most talent.
That's right.
You get to got the greatest of the greatest. I won't even lie to you, you feel me? So instead of somebody using you as a business, be a business. It's like, man, and manage yourself to a certain extent. Everything you can do on your own, because no man is an island. But definitely understand that you are a business, you are a brand, you are you. All the way forward within the same space, like how you're a brand. It's common sense for you right now, you feel me? This is a big brand. It's like, man, you understand though. you know that you are already trademarked in a certain space. These man got meds the same way. Look at the national team. I was watching the national team and I is proud sometimes when I'm watching the national team to see the youths them that playing in the national team. Because I play football with get to youth and I play football with individuals that, you know, have some form of social status. And I was proud to know that, you know, these get to youth man is who actually playing on this team. National football, excite me. So it's all in the space I made certain things and you can't have conversations with certain people because when we grow up, in the space that we grow up, they just know so much. So this is all they can teach. I don't blame them. You understand me? You gotta realize that you can't take what people say as gospel. You gotta jump out and see the world for what it is. Excite me. Definitely.
You know, there's a lot of athletes who talk about money. Like,
Right.
you never really have that. Is that just a conscious thing you have, or is it something you don't want out there?
I think that just comes from my upbringing. You know, it's like, you know, my uncles always taught me, like, they was my savings account. They taught me how to have a savings account. So, you know, if they give me $1, they'd be like, listen, nephew, you know, go ahead and spend 35 cents of it and keep the other 65. You know, or if they gave me $2, they'd be like, you know, go ahead and spend $1 of it, but stash the other $1. So I'm always in my head about stashing and like keeping my money like, you know, sacred and to myself because I didn't know when my uncle was gonna give me another $1 here or another 50 cents here. So I've always kind of had that like that closure about my finances and things of that nature.
LeBron, as we've mentioned, is not only one of the most successful players, but a successful business savvy guy. And in the interview that we just showed, he mentioned about the fact that the lesson that his uncle started when he was young about saving money. Even though he's billionaire status now, it doesn't give him license to splurge and to spend wild and recklessly. He still saves. How important it is for as a young man, young woman, to ensure that regardless of where they go in life,
Don't change.
and you save.
Certain morals and to be honest with you, it's hard. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It's hard. It's a challenge. You understand me? I just want to keep it real. It's a challenge, and I'm in the space of learning to save. I think last episode I did with y'all, I showed y'all that, you know, I still got the struggle to somewhat with regards to saving. It's like, but I'm getting better at it at time to time. I never had the guidance within the space to save. You feel me? But I'm now learning about it. So I hope that I could relate to, you know, like the individuals who are now learning to save, but they need to understand that saving is having a mentality that, you know what I mean, today is good and tomorrow is not going to be the same. There's the mentality you gotta get with saving is always have cash at hand. You understand me? Always, you have to have access to cash at all times. You feel me? Because you don't know what is going to happen the next day. So it's paramount to save or even have cash available, readily available to, you know what I mean, attend to your what we call it, responsibilities, you know, for smaller term. Yeah, definitely. So saving is paramount, and at the same time, the change in aspect doesn't only apply to saving, but it applies to, you know what I mean, how you treat people. It applies to, you know, how you speak to people. It applies to how you move. It applies to, well, how you move got to change. So with money, definitely, you have to move differently because it's not the same. It's never the same with money. You need to move different with money. Some people, it was crazy because I don't even see it in the space as I start to get money. To be honest with you, and people are telling me, you get your money, you know, I ain't even get no money. But just knowing that, you know, they have this idea that, you know, hey, this guy is getting around some cash or whatever. They are really trying to push this rhetoric, and people are trying to say that, oh, you need to change. Jay-Z said it best. You making all this money if you stay the same, you need to change, you understand me? So with money, with evolving as an individual, you need to change because you need to move different. You need to apply yourself different in certain spaces.
The thing about change, change doesn't have to be a bad thing. You could change for the better, right? And as you earn more, it would logically make sense for you to change.
That's what hire you.
Definitely. Now,
You know what I mean?
I'm glad that you brought up some of the struggles when it comes to saving. Because one thing that I don't like is when persons from the business world, the financial field, beat down people when they probably spend a bit more this month than you're supposed to spend. Nothing is wrong with going overboard for a specific month or a 2 month.
Don't go overboard. No, don't ever use overboard because people can get excited and comfortable with, you know.
Definitely.
Overdoing they do.
Right? But sometimes, some months, you might go a little extra.
Treat yourself to something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that that has to be a consistent pattern.
Definitely.
But from time to time, even in my own life, when December reaches, I can splurge.
You call it splurge.
I call it splurge, however you want to call it. But I spend more than the normally spend.
What is restricting me from even doing that amount though? I don't even celebrate anything in the spaces. So while I'm watching people like doing certain stuff, it's be like, alright, this is just a normal day, or this season is just like a normal season
for you.
You feel me? So though, there's where I would be able for what individuals would call save, you know, me compared to what everybody else is doing within this space. So there could probably be a little trick for, you know, individuals that they splurge more all the time as soon as they hear something around the corner, because everybody feel, I think, especially Guyanese, we feel like everything we got celebrate. We get a party for everything.
Definitely.
I think like we're the only country that get a party for every day. You feel me? And we feel like we need to celebrate every day. You feel me? So we don't really have a lot of conscious spenders.
Definitely.
You feel me? So we jump in the splurge more to some extent. But what you saying in the space, you know, like the financial advisors are so hitting on people on, you know, splurging or treating themselves or something. I think some people, and this might be harsh, I think some people they just take life too serious. You feel me? And they put it in a space where they have this perfect world, whereby they're also perfect and mention. They might tell you, no, don't do. Them and I'll do this. You feel what I'm showing you? So, you know, I think you created with what you saying there, you're creating a comfortable atmosphere to know, let individuals know that, you know, hey, yo, give yourself some room. You're learning, so while you're learning, give yourself some room. Like, we're learning, there are mistakes.
And every year,
in school, we never used to get everything right, like from jump while you're learning. But you know, when the teacher had like, hey, this wrong, you know, you gotta fight again with a different approach. You feel me?
You mentioned that as you earn more, you move differently. But you still have to watch how you treat people, watch how you talk to people. And I think that's very important, especially in a Guyanese context, because I've seen this and I would put my head on a block and argue this point. A lot of persons who grew up in poor conditions, they might achieve some middle class success. A few might make it into the really upper class.
And then just note, not to cut in your Guyanese upper class. It's probably not an upper class.
Outside again. You're right.
Right?
But they feel as though, no, all right, I achieved this level of success. I could talk to you however I want. I could do whatever I want to do. And I ain't watching on nobody ain't doing, especially a lot of business people, and they're setting themselves up for failure and to eventually flop. How important it is as you elevate in life to remember your roots and what got you where you are, and to also know that the same things or people or actions that got you can also break you.
Yeah, definitely. I always preach humility, you understand me? And there's a reason why I always preach humility, because we don't know what today called for. We don't know what will happen tomorrow, you understand me? And this is not saying that, you know, oh, you should kiss people's feet. This is just saying that treat people how people should be treated, and carry the one line right through. Some people it's fine because of man got money or whatever, they should speak to him differently or some family respect and so. Listen, if you was hollow on the poor man, hollow on the rich man too. And you in me books, you good. Like for real, because you're showing me that is how you are. That's who you are, and I can't vex with you for that. But you see the individuals that change when it comes to people, then we ain't have a problem. Just because this guy get a little more money than this guy, or this guy got social status more than this one, kiss your feet. And this one is move for me. I don't wanna. Nah, it don't work like that. You feel me? It don't work like that. So humility, like I said, humility goes a far way. And understanding that, you need to treat people like people. However you want to be treated, treat the person. It's like, man.
Criticism is
A big topic.
It's a big man. When LeBron when he announced that he was going to Miami, he did something called The Decision. He had a big TV show on ESPN announcing he's leaving, blah, blah, blah. He's taking his talents to South Beach. And for about a year, the media went in on LeBron. Every negative thing that you could possibly think about, Skip Bayless got a whole show dedicated to talking bad about LeBron, criticizing him, right? In Guyana, I could say this, like when things start happening for an individual, first thing you can hear, you rich and switch.
I don't hear it.
This and the
I don't hear it.
And it's not even rooted in any reality.
Yeah.
It's just the perception and the conception that people have. Generally about persons who are rich or persons who made it out. That
I think it's a reflection of who they would have been if things started happening in a certain speed. So watch how people speak. It's actually it's a funny thing. If you're not operating within a capacity, it's actually a reflection of what they would have been doing if certain things would be happening to them.
they're projecting.
So they're expecting
you to do the same.
So they try to put that on you and say that you're acting this way. And really truly it's just a reflection. It's like, man, wait, damn, that is that. It's like, man.
And how also is it important? Apart from that, I think there's something called constructive criticism.
I love criticism,
In your business, in your art, on your job, in whatever you're doing, persons can make constructive criticisms. How important is to handle that graciously and to not be arrogant and just dismiss everybody?
It says like somebody this girl they teaching me about I think it's Casrip or one of them thing there. If you don't treat it right or something like that, it could poison you. So with everything that people say or tell you, that take out the good out there. Everything somebody says, like within criticism to get something good in it that you could take away from it. You're gonna look at it, some people might look at it holistically as something bad or something negative or this individual envy me or whatever, but they got some good in it. There's a reason why they're saying that, and then they have other individuals out there that share the same thought that they share. So you need to understand. Receive the information. Listening is great. Listen, receive the information or the data, whatever it is that they're giving to you, and assess it. Check out the good out it and apply it to whatever it is that you're doing. I just always do that. Somebody did tell me the other day, somebody gonna tell me something that how they don't like what I just do in some space, and I was listening and my virgin gave vexed. My virgin was like, yo, don't let them tell you what to do, or don't let them talk to you like don't. Them know nothing, thing. He's like, yo, if I ain't getting vexed, why you getting vexed? I want to hear what this person get to say. I want to hear why you saying this is, and I sit and I listen. And some people might say, I would have never encouraged that. They could have never tell me that. I want to hear it. I need to hear that. Because you're probably not the only person feeling the way, you understand me? And you're why would you're interested in what I'm doing. Your interest lays here. There's a reason why you came across what I'm doing. And I want the information there. Or I could bet it. Or I could bet it for you group that's still like that. And then you know what? Music might probably get better. my attitude might probably get better. It will aid and assist me in progressing. And I know how to apply myself where I should. Yeah.
Final words before we wrap up tonight. Just gonna give you a minute to look straight into the camera. For that guy watching from the other street, and that girl watching from Monrepo.
Monrepo. Yeah.
Give them some words of advice to help them level up in business and level up financially.
Business and financially, how you could level up. Remember, every day is an opportunity to do better and do great. Understand that customer service is something that is lacking in our society. Realize our ins and outs, where we have our bad, where we have our good. You understand me? Zone into those areas, you understand, and develop them in a major way. Be innovative. With regards to anything that you're doing whatsoever, be innovative and left that trademark with regards to such. Respect yourself, respect your customers, consumers, and also your business folk within a business space. You feel me? And definitely stay true to yourself and your people. Do the right thing. The Almighty always watching, man, and watching. Yeah.
Don't forget to check out the new Moko video on
Definitely.
YouTube. Video is killing it in Guyana and further afield. And support my brother Kush in his musical endeavors. And I want to thank you guys for tuning in. The next episode will be the final episode for Common Sense for this season. And then we take a few months break and we're back in September. Right? So next week, we're going to do something big, something special on Common Sense. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your night and use your common sense.